Hey, welcome to our team call tonight. I am so excited to have Gabby talking to us about inviting like a boss and just talking more about overcoming your fears. But first, I wanted to just talk quickly about upcoming things happening this week. Um, we have the Lift 4 prep week. Hold on, I'm just going to mute. Just in case new people get on, I just want to do that really quick. So Lift 4 Prep Week starts tomorrow. Group has been made. Posts are getting scheduled. So if you have people, add them to the group. The group has been posted in the team page. So you can just use the search bar and search Lift 4, and the link should pop up to the group, and then request access, and we'll accept. Also, there's a clean week starting tomorrow and next Monday on the 16th. So 2 groups happening. Feel free to invite to those. And then also the add to call on Tuesday at 5 o'clock p.m. PST. I'll probably be in my car. I'm just dropping off my kids. So I know it's a little late on the East Coast, but maybe we could do like 5:10 start time, Gabby, instead of 5:30. I just can't work around with the 5 p.m. And then, yeah, so that's what's happening this week. And so I'm just going to toss it off to Gabby. She's going to start talking to us about inviting like
Yay! Okay, ladies, I'm so pumped. I feel like I get so dark up in here. Okay. Okay, so I'm super pumped for this. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen once I get this up. Here we go, share. Also, get your notes out because I do have some little nuggets here for you guys. Here we go, sharing my screen. Okay, perfect. I wonder if I can actually, no, not take a screenshot. Hold on, view. There we go, enter full screen. Perfect. I can't see you guys, but that's fine. Okay, so inviting like a boss and how to start how to invite and start conversations. And if you guys have questions at the end of this, I'm going to be answering. Have anything else to do later. So if you have any questions, please save them for the end of the call and I will answer any questions that you have. So first I want to start with belief is the key to inviting. If you don't believe in yourself and if you don't believe in these products, it's going to be very hard for you to invite. Consistency equals confidence, you guys. I truly believe in this and that I truly believe that if you are consistent, you will start to feel more confident in posting and inviting. And I really think that, being consistent with posting is going to build that confidence for posting more, plus reaching out to people such as your friends or family. You have to believe in everything Beachbody is as a whole. It's very, very important for you yourself to believe in every single aspect of Beachbody. Because if you don't, how is anyone going to trust you? Or how is anyone going to basically take you as legit? That's just how I see it. Next is I want you guys to reevaluate yourselves before and start to think about this now, because I can give you all of these tips and tools and what works for me. But at the end of the day, if you don't reevaluate yourself and reevaluate everything that you're doing now, none of this is going to work. So I want to first also explain to you that I was terrible, and I'm looking down because I'm looking down at my notes. I was terrible at inviting. I want to tell you, when I just started inviting last month. No joke. I think I started to really take inviting seriously after Summit. Why? Because I realized that it was one of the top vital behaviors and that every single top Beachbody coach does it. And if I don't do it, I will not be walking that stage next year. And I knew that I needed to level up in myself, in my business. I knew that what I was doing was working, but I needed to level up my whole idea of inviting. I've been doing this for the past month or so, and I can honestly tell you that I've received, bigger months, bigger Success Club points, bigger paychecks, more coaches on my team. And I want to also remind you that I didn't do all of this by sitting around and watching other people do it. I did it because I saw them doing it and I took action. actually looking at things and seeing what other people doing and, you know, seeing how they're inviting is great. But if you don't take action on it, then you're not going to see any movement in your business. And I think that's very, very important. And that's how, you know, how I see it. I can sit here all day and, you know, share this with you, and you guys can write all these things down. But if you don't take action on it, then nothing's going to happen. So I want you to reevaluate yourselves. How many times a week are you posting on your stories and posting on your social media? How often are you inviting? How many, have you made a list of people that you want to invite to your challenge groups, or that you want to invite to the coaching opportunity? What are some of your fears? Like, you need to jot those fears down and really figure out how to crush them, because ultimately you really need to be becoming comfortable being uncomfortable. And a lot of those fears are in the uncomfortable spot of your life. And I know that I was very, very fearful of inviting. And that's why I just kind of overcame these things. And the biggest thing is, do you believe in the program and the products? How does it make you feel? If you are really like 100% like superfoods is my life, then share that and share it with other people, because that's what people are gonna reach out to you about. And that's how they're going to see that you're legit, and that, wow, like, she loves her superfoods and she talks about it all the time. So those are some of the questions that you really need to sit down and evaluate what you're doing as a coach. And at the end of this call, I'm gonna have some action steps for you guys to take action. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. And yeah. So the next is understanding the difference between public inviting versus personal invite, because there's a huge difference. Like, when I say huge, I mean like drastic. You can be publicly inviting, and what I mean by publicly inviting, I mean posting on your Instagram stories, posting on your social media, social media. I was a speech pathologist, and now I start this and I can't even talk. Posting on your stories, talking about it on your Facebook or whatever. Those are public invites. And those are great, don't get me wrong. But if you're not personally inviting, then, you know, then you need to be doing personal inviting. I was only doing public inviting, no lie, all the way up to Summit. Literally all the way up to Summit, I was probably only doing public inviting. And I started to feel like, and this literally before Summit, I was like, man, like, I'm not seeing as much success, and I'm not seeing as much, you know, people reaching out to me. And I'm like, what's happening right now? Like, I'm being consistent. And the thing is that my public invite wasn't working, or it was working, but it was slowly, you know, it was great, but I wasn't doing that personal invite, and I wasn't making those personal relationships with people. And that's honestly what you guys should be doing. And the biggest misconception is that you post on social media and your challenge groups fill up. That is so false, because so many times I'm like, wow, I see these other coaches and they're posting and they have deadlines, and you know, they're saying they have only 2 spots left, and how are they doing it? Oh my God. They're doing it because they're personally inviting, but they're breadcrumbing with their public invitation. And so that's why inviting is so important, and why it's one of the vital behaviors, because you can post all day, but if you're not inviting, then they're going to be like, okay, well, that's great. Like, she's doing that, but so what? So public inviting waters the seed. It shows that you're consistent, and it gets the word out there. So it's definitely important to public invite 110%, because of those top three things. So the difference is the personal invite. Your personal invite builds relationships and friendships. It shows that you're authentic. It shows, you know, or you could talk goals with them and build trust with them. You know, I always revert back to this, but, you know, I saw Emma, like, literally, this is in a example itself. I always saw Emma posting her invites to her challenge groups or invites to coaching on her social media. But if it wasn't for that initial conversation and building trust and showing that she was authentic and building that friendship, I probably would have honestly never joined if it was just for her sharing her story on her social media. It was definitely a huge part of it, but a lot of it was because she built that personal relationship. And I honestly, I want to go back to this really quick, and I hope it's not like weird that I say this, but like I went through something very deep in my life, and Emma and I had a miscarriage, and Emma was actually there. Like, she had invited me to something, and I had shared that with her, and it made me realize that, wow, like this girl doesn't just care about a sale. Like, she is genuine. And I always remember that, and I always remember, okay, like that's how we're changing lives. We're changing lives because we're building authentic relationships with people through these personal invites. You're not just going to get people by your public invitations, you guys. It might work for like one or two people, but for the majority of your business, you have to be doing the personal invitation. You have to be doing the work of reaching out to people, and I'm going to show you how. Number one is I want to kind of show you the differences. And so here's the first one is I just posted this today. And it's just an example because I have many more that I use. But I have the 21-day Kickstart program. I made this on Canva. I did it off my phone in like 2 seconds. And so are you struggling with a routine, struggling with nutrition, need more accountability, sense of community? Are you worried about the holidays coming up? Guys, it's summer. The holidays are right around the corner, and it's honestly probably the hard time for our business to thrive because people are going to be low on money and probably don't want to work out that much, but I'm ready to conquer those objectives now. So that's why I'm adding slowly breadcrumbing the holidays into my invites, my public invites, because I want them to think like, oh my gosh, like the holidays are coming up. I'm going to have to take pictures and be around family, and I don't even feel comfortable in my jeans. How am I going to feel comfortable taking a picture? Those are breadcrumbing your public invitations. And I simply put drop a, I guess this was like a, I don't know, like muscle one. I don't even know what you call that emoji below. For more info on this free group, I said free group because I do have the free clean week coming up, but I also have the 21-day Kickstart program. But the group is free. All they have to do is purchase the challenge pack. So I always say the group is free, the coaching is free, but all you have to do is purchase the challenge pack. Confidently say that. All you have to do is purchase the challenge pack, because if you're not confident, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, like if you make excuses for them, they're going to read into that. And that's kind of what I did when I first was the coach, is I kind of like, made excuses in my head for them already. And I was like, no, like, why am I doing that? So definitely don't do that. And then here's another public invite, you guys, using before and afters. If you don't have a before and after yet, that's totally fine. Use other people's before and afters. And I don't mind. Like, I don't mind if you use mine. I don't mind if you use my story at all. You never have to ask permission, because sometimes you won't relate to a mom. Like, I don't relate to moms because I'm not a mom. I relate to women that are married and, like got super fit before their wedding and then got married and fell into this like, comfortable zone, and then they gained all the weight back. And then I relate to women that are just really struggling with themselves. I mean, everyone is, but deep down inside. So I threw this out there and I said, I related it back to October, the picture on the left. And I said, I was looking in the mirror and I hated the way I looked. I took this picture and I didn't even post it. And it's so true, you guys. I did not post this picture back in October. And that was the picture right before I texted Emma and said that I was ready to join. So when I simply put out and I said, when you felt so insecure, unhappy, and confident, remember you had a hard time finding something to wear and would cry in front of the closet for hours. Relate to their weaknesses, relate to what they're struggling with, and relate everything that you're going through, someone else is probably going through. So whatever you're emotionally attached to, your why, like why you started, relate that into your posts, relate that into your challenge groups and in your invites. So I said, yeah, not happening this fall. No way, Jose. Turns out a few months of hard work can result in becoming happy, confident. Sometimes and I always use this now. Thank you, Emily. Sometimes if you kind of sort of try, you kind of sort of get results. And I said, are you ready to join yet? Drop a heart and I'll add you to my July 16th group. And you too can rock that confidence at the pumpkin patch. It's literally that simple. And you guys have 155 likes. Those are 155 people that you should be conversating with. I mean, that I should be. So you should look at those 155 people and be thanking them for supporting your fitness journey and starting authentic conversations. And I know you might be thinking, oh my God, 155, I don't have time for that. I get it. I totally get it. I will be 110% with you. Like, I probably have not reached out to one person in those likes, but I did reach out to the people in the comments, because I did have like 5 or 6 people comment on that picture that was like, sign me up, more details. So I did reach out to them. Now, what I have been doing lately is going back to my likes, going back to my comments, and jotting them down and starting conversations with them. Because those are going to be people that, they're supporting you and they see you, they're watching you, and will probably eventually join your challenge groups. So that's what I do. Now, this is a public invite, and I'm sharing this with you because I got this girl's phone number. I talked to her today. This literally happened July 6th, and then I wrote this bottom one to her this morning, which is another thing, you guys. I didn't even I've been busy, and everyone knows, I was busy this weekend and I really didn't have time to get back to my conversations. I left my inbox alone with 24 messages until this morning, and that's okay. I also want to remind you guys that when you do invite, make sure that you have the time to respond back to people. So when you're inviting, make sure that you start that at the beginning of your power hour, so you at least have an hour to respond to people, so that you're not just like inviting and then ghosting them. And so I at least try and get in with one person, commenting back at least 4 times. And then I usually end it where they're like, sure, I'd love more info. And then I don't respond to them until I actually have time, because I never want to give someone my 10% attention. I want to give them 110% attention, because I want to make sure that they know I'm being authentic and I'm being genuine. So this is how I personally invite. I always say, I can't see this, so I'm going to take this off for a second. Hey girl, thank you so much for the follow. Are you into health and fitness too by any chance? Literally so easy. Literally, I look back when I didn't invite, and I think, why haven't I been doing this the whole time? And I just said this to someone who followed me. If you are having followers, boom, start a conversation right now. Start conversations with people that are following you every single time. So, and she said, and I couldn't believe that she wrote this. She said, I'm trying to get into it more. I just want to start eating healthy and working out more and getting into better shape, but I haven't really had the chance to start yet. I'm in the process of packing to a new apartment in a week, but I was wanting to start after that. So obviously she kind of has objectives, she was so busy and whatever. I was like, oh wow, girl, that's so awesome. Congrats on your new apartment too. Have you ever thought about working out from home? And she said, that would be great. What I would want to do, because I don't have much time to go to the gym, working full time, starting classes up again here soon, working out from home would be nice. And I was like, and I related back to me, and I'm like, that's how I feel. I save so much time, working out from home. Plus I have a virtual trainer right in front of me, so I know what I'm actually doing and getting a good workout out of it and crushing my goals. And I was like, would you like more information about my programs? Everything else is online. She's like, sure, I'd love more info. And then this morning I sent her this, and I asked her, I said, send me your email and I'll send you all the details, or I can text you, whichever is easier for you. It's just hard on here because of the limits and you can't text. You guys, I always say that because there is a limit, and a lot of people don't check their DMs like we do. So I always say hey, let me text you, or let me get your email, whichever is easiest for you. And she actually ended up giving me her phone number, and I actually texted her and sent her, we ended up having the conversation and doing, sending her the price and details like that. Now I wanna add to you that this doesn't always happen like this. A lot of the times when I say, hey girl, thank you so much for the follow. Are you into health and fitness too by any chance? Most people just say yes. And then I'm like, okay, like, that's great. Now what do I do? Like, they didn't say anything back. That's okay. That's okay. Like, you're gonna have weird responses from people, and you just always have to kind of, I say, pull teeth. Ask them more questions. I always relate back to this too, is the tree stump reminder of digging deep. And you guys are probably like, what does that mean? Let me show you really quick. I'm going to, okay, so digging deep would mean, here's a tree, okay? We have a tree, oh my gosh, what's happening? Where's my little roller? Okay, we have a tree right here. Here's a tree, so much fun. I'm such an artist, you guys. And then I'm gonna draw a line. And here is where all of your public posts are going. They're going on top of the tree because everyone can see it. Everyone is like, oh my gosh, I see she's being consistent. It's amazing. Oh my gosh, she's doing these workouts. It's great, awesome. But you guys, underneath here is the root of your business. The root of your business lies underneath the ground. The genuine, authentic inviting of personal relationships, building the trust, building the relationship, getting to know their goals, getting to know them, and not making it about you. That is where your business is going to thrive. Underneath that sand, underneath everything, that is where it's going to rely. And that's very, very important to understand that, yes, this is great, but you need to dig deeper, get to the roots of their why, get to the roots of why they want to join your challenge group. What are their goals? What is making them not feel confident in their own skin? That is huge, you guys. So that's why it's so important to dig deeper. I don't know how to go back out of this. Okay. How do I get out of this? I don't know. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, preview, view. Enter full screen. There we go. So yeah, the tree stump reminder, always go back to that when you're feeling like, man, no one's joined my challenge group this month, or, no one's joined my clean week. Yeah, obviously, because you didn't invite them to clean week. So really, really dig deeper with your goals and what you're doing as a coach. Because if you're not doing the tree stump reminder, you need to. And so another thing is partner your post with your invites. Are you legit? Are you posting about your challenge groups and posting them in your stories, and and then when you invite, are people seeing that on your social media? Or are you just inviting and then they go to your social media and they're like, oh, that's cool, she made a cup of coffee today, and she posted about it, that's great and all, but you also need to be inviting on your actual post and your stories, because that will show that you're consistent and that you're legit. So partner your post with your invites. So here we go. We're digging deep into, let me go down here. Okay. How to build friendships. And I say friendships because they should be friendships. I had to take a real dig deep after Summit and realized I have been neglecting some of my challengers, and it really sunk deep with me. And I was like, I need to make sure that I'm best friends with these girls, because they're not I looked at it as my girls aren't I haven't had before and afters from some of my girls, and I'm like, why? And it's because they're not my friends. I looked at them as challengers, and I don't want to look at them as challengers. I want to look at them as friends and be like, girl, let's do this together. Let's crush your goals. You really have to pay attention to your challengers after you sign them up. So that's why you want to start with building the friendships. So how do you do that when you're inviting? Comment, and message. When I say this, I mean you might not be signing anyone up, and that's fine, but this is how you build relationships. Like other people's posts. I can tell you, my best friends tell me all the time, they're like, oh my God, did you see my picture? And they trick me. And I'm like, yeah, I saw it. And they're like, well, you didn't like it. And sometimes I have to look back and I'm like, oh my God, I've just been so used to like getting caught up in people liking my posts that I forget to like other people's posts. And so that's when I had to look at myself in the mirror and be like, well, how am I going to build relationships if I'm not liking other people's posts and they're not seeing me consistently like their stuff? So like other people's posts, comment on their pictures. Happy birthday, girl. Oh my God, so cute. Where'd you get that bathing suit? Watch their stories, comment on their stories. Oh my gosh, your daughter is so cute. My best friend Emma has a daughter too, and AB finds new ways to start conversations. And especially if people are watching your stories and commenting off your stories, comment back and create conversations with them, because sometimes they're starting to create conversations with you because they're too scared to ask you about your challenge group. And they're like, well, maybe if I just comment on their picture or say something that she'll notice me. Yes, hello, like start conversations, comment, message them off their Instagram stories. If you see something fun or cute or whatever, message them and start a new conversation with them. Maybe you guys have likes and maybe you guys have differences, who knows? But that's how you start to build a relationship for the future, okay? Because you have to think about the future and not so much the present, because like again, 4 years it took me to join. So, you know, Emma was probably like thinking like, no, I wasn't thinking that you were going to take 4 years. But that's how I see it. And I see it and I go back and I'm like, how long did it take me? And, you know, like Emma had to build that relationship by liking my stuff and commenting and messaging me. So that's how you build relationships for the future challengers and future coaches. What you do now will pay off for the future. And opening doors, you guys, this is gold. Opening doors and using the form. Family, occupation, recreation, message, sharing your story, and your message. So you might be thinking, okay, you know, some questions that you're gonna get, like when you invite and you're like, hey girl, like, thank you so much for your love and support and following me and blah, 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 whatever. And they're like, hey, no problem, awesome. And then they don't like ask a question back. You want them to ask questions back. That's how you're gonna start conversations and eventually start that process of inviting. Because sometimes what I showed you guys with that previous girl in that previous conversation, it doesn't happen that easily. You're gonna have to work for it. And that's how you would use form. Every time you invite or every time you start a conversation, use form. So when they're like, oh, yeah, no problem, your page is awesome, ask a question. Thank you, or whatever, like say like, I was just anything in common. You also are a bartender. I am too. Where do you work? Or oh my gosh, you know, you're married. Me too. When did you get married? Recreation. Oh my gosh, you love spinning. I used to spin all the time before I got married, and I got so thin and so skinny. It was great, but A, B, and C. And then once you do start those conversations, you know, start to share your message and your story. Relate back to them by breadcrumbing your story into those questions so that, you know, you're creating that conversation back and forth and not just be like, yeah, thanks for the love and support. And they're like, yeah, no problem. That's great. But like, they could potentially be your client or a future coach. So that's why, you know, using form to form questions as, you know, to build conversations, always revert back to, do they relate to your family, or do you have occupations in common or recreation in common and stuff like that. Let them talk about them and not let it be so much about you. Ask questions that will lead them to asking about Beachbody. Oh, I think I have two of the same ones. I do. Oh, well. Because the biggest thing is The red flag is just saying like, hey guys, thank you for the love and support, or hey girl, thank you so much for following me. Are you into health and fitness too? And say she says, yeah, I am. What do you, and she looks at your page and she says, and she sees whatever, and she's like, oh yeah, what do you do? And if you're like, I'm a Beachbody coach, she's gonna be like, okay, bye. I mean, maybe not all the time, but for me, I know like I get the Herbalife ones and I'm like, oh my God, here she goes again with her Herbalife. Like, that's just me. And to me, that's a red flag. And you don't want to just blurt out like, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. No, what you should do, let me see if I have another slide. I'm going to go back to this one, is again, using form, asking them the questions. And, then weave Beachbody in when you're inviting. And you say, like, what do you do for a living? What do you do for your health and fitness goals? Are you using the gym? Oh, you're not? I might have a program for you that I do that works for me at home. Do you have a meal plan you use? Like, be genuine with your questions and let them answer the questions that you are looking for, if that makes sense. Like, without just saying, I'm a Beachbody coach, I have products, I have this virtual, like, at home, like, workouts. Like, sometimes it works if you verbally blurt out those things, but it's not going to work for everyone. So that's why you have to use the family, occupation, recreation, and, the message, and also, you're going to come across these awkward questions. It happens all the time. So you get to the conversation, you're like, so yeah, like, I've just been working out from home and I've seen amazing results. I love it so much. And I've just built genuine relationships with these girls in my accountability groups. So you're going to get that awkward question. Okay, what is it? You're like, oh my God, what do I say back? So what I do is I'm always super genuine, and I never really say, well, because honestly, I did this before Summit, and I said, oh, well, have you ever heard of Beachbody? You guys, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And 90% of the time when I said, well, have you ever heard of Beachbody? They ghost me. And that's fine. Like, I get it and stuff like that. But I kind of changed it up and I started saying, hey, I'm laughing because I can't believe I actually did that. But, listen, fail forward, because you're going to have things that work for you and you're going to have things that don't work for you. So you have to really just play with it. And eventually, again, believing in yourself and staying consistent, you'll start to be confident and understand, like, okay, like, I can do this and not just blurt out Beachbody. So remember that, I wasn't always inviting like a boss. I did do those things too. So when you get people to ask you, like, oh, what is it? And you respond back like, it's an online private support group that is a place for motivation, support, and accountability. We run little contests, giveaways, post recipes, share tips, and just have fun while working towards our goals. I have a bunch of people in these groups right now that are seeing amazing results and having a blast doing it. Does this sound like something that could benefit you? And then you always end with a question, because you want to have them respond to you. And then I also kind of throw in, after they respond, is like, what are some of your goals? Because, and I'm going to go into this because a lot of the times people just want to blur it out and they're like, well, how much does it cost? And I'm like, oh, here we go. Because that is like huge. Like, for me, I'm like, I still to this day, when someone's like, don't care, how much does it cost? And I'm like, okay, well, back up, first of all. Like, I can tell you the price all day. Well, I don't really say this to people, but I think it in my head. I'm like, I can tell you the price all day, but I really want to get to know your goals. And why you really want to get to know their goals is because, guys, I have sold so many 80-day obsession challenge packs to girls that were not ready for 80-day obsession. 110% I did that. And why? Is because I only really wanted the Success Club point. And I was only really focusing on me, not on them. And that, to me, is when I started to feel like, and I really needed to evaluate myself and be like, wow, like, now these girls aren't getting the results they want, because I was being, I'm sorry for cursing, but like, I was being a shitty coach. And, at the same time, I had to say, like, I came back from Summit and I said, to all of my girls that were doing 80-day obsession, I said, are you getting results? What are you doing right now? Tell me everything, that your goals and whatever. And I told them to stop doing 80-day obsession and go back to 21-day fix. Why? Because it takes 21 days to create a habit, and 80-day obsession is hard as fuck. And I know that I just wanted to be that person who really cares about their challengers. So when I revert back to how much does it cost, I really want to really get to know their goals, because I never want to shove a challenge pack, into the arms of someone who's not ready for an 80-day obsession challenge pack. So does it cost money? And so I responded, I was like, I can get you details and costs as soon as father, oh my God, huge typo. As soon as I gather some more information about you, since everyone gets a recommendation based on their goals. I'm not a one-size-fits-all coach, and I make sure my clients get the best program for them. My coaching is always free. The only cost is whichever program we decide is best for you and your personal health and fitness goals. You guys, they're gonna be like, wow, she's not just trying to sell me something. She genuinely really cares. And I always end it with, do you mind if I ask you some questions about your goals? Or do you mind if I ask you, do you mind if I ask you some of your health and fitness goals, or something like that? End it with a question, because this will really show them that, wow, she really cares, and she doesn't just care about making a sale. Because people will read into you, and they'll see oh my God, she just sold me this challenge pack and I'm not getting results because a session is hard. She didn't tell me it was hard. So definitely, be honest with them. I never say beat around the bush, but first get to know their goals, and maybe just say, I would love to give you the information about the cost of the challenge packs or the cost of it, but first I really want to get to know you and your goals. So that's how you will create genuine friendships with these people. And then the why that makes them cry. Figure out deep down inside why they want to join. Okay, because it really takes them to be successful with their challenge pack and get the results that they want if they know why they're joining. Not just because they want to look good, not just because, they want to take a picture at the pumpkin patch, which is great. Those things are great. And that why is great, but dig deeper, get to know their goals and their why. Share your story with them, why you started, and ask them and be like, do you mind if I share my story? Maybe it would help you relate to, and, to me and how I started. Be genuine with them, and ask them, what do you struggle with most? Nutrition, fitness, a morning routine? Why do you want the extra accountability? Why do you want the coaching? And just ask them questions, be genuine. And then, so here are some of the tips that I have. And that is, always lead with their goals, not yours. Your goals, such as Success Club or reaching Emerald or doing, A, B, and C, is great. Your goals are very important, and I never want you to forget that, because your goals is going to, your goals are going to push you further in this business. But also, don't forget their goals, and don't make your goals their problem, because their goals is going to help you reach your goals. So that's why I always say lead with their goals, and dig deeper and really find out, because the whole point of this business and the whole point of being authentic and having a brand is because we do this to help women, because we were in the same position as they were 7 months ago, 2 months ago, or whenever you guys joined. So relate to them, and not just make it all about you, because I had to look at myself in the mirror when I got back from Summit and be like, what did I do wrong? And so that's honestly how I became, so I would say, thriving in my business. And ask more questions. Ask more questions about them. Dig deep. Also, send third-party tools, but ask them first. Be like, I totally understand your reservations about Shakeology. Do you mind if I send you a video that explains all about Shakeology and that it's not just a protein shake? Ask them. Don't just be like, here's a link, check it out. Ask them. Be like, do you mind, ... Get to know their emotional why. Again, dig deeper. Be interested, not interesting. Okay? You can be interesting all you want on your Instagram stories, all you want on your posts, but when you get to that personal invite, be engaged and interested in them. Don't try and interest them with everything about you. So that's very important to remember. Always focus on the positives of what they're telling you, and don't only offer the program you love. Again, back to 80-day obsession. I love 80-day obsession. Loved, loved, loved. And that's why I only offered them that program, and that's why they stopped doing that program, and why I reverted them back to 21 Day Fix. So really, really, really don't offer them the program that you love only. Like, there's so many more other programs out there. That's why getting to know their goals is so important. And be relentless, you guys. Own your confidence as a boss entrepreneur, because that's what you are. If you're sitting here right now and you're like, I don't know if I could do this business, that seems like a lot of work, or, like A, B, and C, you guys, you can do anything you put your mind to. Inviting is seriously so much fun. Like, ever since I've been doing it, I have met so many cool women, started new conversations with people, getting to know people, and, getting to know that, like, I am not the only one who, has anxiety or had depression or that's married. And, like, I'm relating so much to these women by inviting. And I invite 50 to 100 times a day. And sometimes I'm not signing people up at all with those invites, but I'm starting new conversations with them. And that's what's really important. It's because those conversations are going to be basically gateways into inviting them to your challenge groups. And what I truly believe is, when you get girls in your challenge groups and they get results and they truly believe in the products like you do, they could potentially be rock star coaches. I truly believe that challengers can be rock star coaches. And I just, I really lead with that. And I also, ever since Summit, I always remember that this is your responsibility. Yes, it was an opportunity for you, but now as a coach, now that you're in this, it is your responsibility to share what you have with people. You have this invitation. You can either keep it or you can share it. And ever since having that mindset shift of, like, I have this responsibility and I have this invitation, and it's like, you have this invitation, and but you're so nervous to send it to that really popular girl at high school, but you really want her to come and join and to come to your party because she's so cool. And so that's how I look at it. And I'm like, I have all these fears, and I have, like, this, like, I'm putting, like, what she's going to say or respond back to me in my head, when in the end, like, I have this invitation, and then she's like, oh my God, I would love to join you. I would love to come to your party. You guys, don't sit back and wait for people to come to you, because they're not going to come to you if you don't invite them. They're not going to come to your party if you don't invite them. So it's really important to remember that, because, and like I said, my 3 top things is the tree stump effect, and what was I calling it? Oh my gosh, I can't even remember right now. The tree stump effect, believing in yourself, and using the form, and then making this your responsibility to invite people. You have something, you believe in this, and it works, and this is your responsibility to go share it with people. So now I think that's all I really have. I do have a call to action for you guys. Let me see really quick. Oh, this kind of looks weird.
Can I add something really quick before?
Yeah.
That was amazing, and, like, great. Everything was so awesome. I wanted to just mention 2 books that are really great. Go for No is a great one if you're really worried about no's. After my very first summit, that was something I realized that I still was scared of, was getting no's. And now I, like, crave them. No's are what you want. And it's almost like, it's great because it kind of is like a competition with yourself on how many no's you can get. And then another one is GoPro. It's kind of an older style, but it really helps and really helped me back in the day with inviting.